Hi, this is John Rowell for the Rowell Report. Today is Wednesday, October 1st, 2025, and we're back for another video, this time regarding the proposed solution, the 20-point solution in the Israel-Gaza conflict. And so we have on the screen here an image of President Trump, Erdogan of Turkey, and other Muslim leaders who met with President Trump on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly. And you would have thought that they would have demanded that Israel cease all attacks on the Palestinian people, to leave Gaza and allow the food to come in to the starving people. But this wasn't the outcome of this meeting. Basically, President Trump wanted to get a gauge of how these rulers would take to his 20-point plan, which I think he had worked out some time ago. So then he wanted to see how the leaders of Muslim countries were going to react. And surprisingly, they have been extremely favorable to this plan. Um, in the case of Erdogan, we remember that the last time he really rose up a public outcry to the treatment of the Palestinian people in Gaza by Israel, he received F-16s from the United States, and that was enough to send him back into his office and wait for a new opportunity to look for what he really wanted was F-35s, fighter jets from the United States. So um, most of the Muslim leaders have been looking to profit off the suffering and demise of the Palestinian people in Gaza and the West Bank, and they only come out and give a public discourse favorable to the Palestinian people when they either have to because of the outcry within their own countries, or because they need something. Uh, they need money or military equipment, which they want to add to their arsenal. And we've had these outbursts from the Jordanian king. He'll come and give this uh, fiery speech, and yet, whenever Iran sends missiles towards Israel, they're the first ones to try to stop them. There have always been the line of defense, and both Jordan and Egypt were um, generously benefited by the Camp David Agreement, and they have continued to play their part and to enrich themselves immensely. So the other Muslim countries want to get into the game, and the countries who were trying to help the Palestinian people were all eliminated, um, or in a sense neutralized by Israel. All the countries except Iran. So Iran by itself will not be able to help the Palestinian people. We also have the Houthis, and they have some ability to impact the situation, but very little. But anyway, we have another photo here, which is the um, uh, the Saudi foreign minister, and we have the Egypt prime minister, and they, basically want the whole Palestinian issue behind them. The Palestinians, especially the Hamas, is related to the Muslim Brotherhood, and Egypt uh, wiped out the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt with death sentences and prison, and so they wiped out the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood also, I believe, has wiped out in Turkey. So um, there is a uh, there is definitely a movement towards getting past the Palestinians and trying to sweep them out of the way so that they can have better economic futures, and they don't have to worry about conflict in the region. So what they're all about is money, making money, and they want to eliminate any force within their own countries that could supplant their power. And the Muslim Brotherhood was a very strong force for a time. So um, anyway, this um, this pressure that's on Hamas, basically it's a no-win situation for Hamas. If they accept the 20 points, they will basically lose Gaza. Gaza will become part of Israel. They would have to hand over their weapons to a Muslim militia that would be set up to work under the control of the Israelis. So it'd be double humiliation for the Hamas fighters. Also, once they decide to quit, they will be identified, and wherever they go on the planet, they will be hunted down. So this doesn't work out very well for Hamas, no matter what they decide. If they don't accept the agreement, Gaza will be basically reduced to rubble and it will be unlivable. This has been the goal of Israel for quite a while. And there really isn't any group anywhere near the people of Gaza who can help or support them. Like I say, the Hezbollah was decapitated. They signed this peace agreement, and they thought that they would be that they would have a time of peace. And as soon as they forgot to um, as soon as they came out of hiding, because I think they were in some kind of a bunker or fortified area, they were all eliminated in decapitation strikes. So Hezbollah is reconstituting itself. It doesn't have the ability right now to impact the situation. Um, there isn't anyone in Egypt to help the Palestinian people, nor do they want to support them because, as I mentioned, Hamas is related to the Muslim Brotherhood, and Egypt went through a whole process of extermination of the Muslim Brotherhood, and death sentences were handing out to people who were simply um, demonstrated in the streets, and the world to look the other way. So little by little, the whole support structure around the Palestinians and especially Gaza has been whittled away until basically nothing. So let me take a look here with you about the countries that have supported the plan and said they welcome Trump's sincere efforts. And so they basically supported some aspects of the plan, but they accept all parts of the plan. They want the Hamas, especially, to disappear, and they want the Palestinian people to be moved out, so that they can build up their industries in their country. So anyway, let's take a look at the countries. We have Saudi Arabia, Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, Indonesia, Pakistan, Turkey, Qatar, Egypt. So we know right away when we see Egypt and Jordan, they've already been bought and paid for since the Camp David agreements. Saudi Arabia, they were attacking the Houthis until not too long ago. That was during the Obama administration, and they were bombing civilian areas, killing civilians. President Trump continued that with his attack on the Houthis. So there is no love between Saudi Arabia and the Houthis, and the Houthis are supporting the people in Gaza. So Saudi Arabia would not be supporting the people of Gaza, only in word and some fiery, strong statement that has no meaning and will have no follow through. The other countries, I think some are simply hoping to avoid further bloodshed, but basically, for Hamas to accept this agreement, it would be the end of Palestine, we already know that um, there will basically be no West Bank. It will be chopped up into little pieces. The word West Bank basically is meaningless at this point. Um, the Palestinian leadership led them into this situation at the Oslo Accords, which was basically a death sentence for the Palestinian state. So it's been kind of a dead man walking until now. So what is Hamas to do? Are they to stay and fight, or are they to give up? And with the hope that some possible uh, positive consequence could come out of this agreement. I think they know by now that any promise made by Israel or the United States to help the people of Gaza is meaningless because Israel has been blocking the food into Gaza and with a blockade, and the United States basically has said nothing. And when asked about the genocide or massacre of the Palestinian people, either through bombs or by withholding food and water. They basically swept that whole topic aside. So the United States is not interested in helping the people of Gaza, and either is Israel. And now it's starting to sound like the Muslim countries are starting to line up behind the United States and Israel. So basically, when it all gets boiled down to the final point, is um, if Hamas thinks that there's a possibility that they could fight and win, it certainly would seem more intelligent to stay in Gaza and fight and win rather than fight to the last man. Um, and But the question, I think, is there any country on the planet who would challenge the United States on Israel or Gaza or the Palestinian people in general? I don't think that there is. The European countries would be the only ones who could possibly challenge them, but they've only given limited support of the people of Gaza um, and to cut off economic or military ties with Israel. It's been piecemeal, little by little, and even the UK, which has asked for the two-state solution, knows that the two-state solution isn't possible, and it'll never be followed through. So this is just buying time for the massacre to continue. And so, um, but I can't see of any possibility of Hamas coming out of this situation with a win. Like I say, this is a lose-lose situation for Hamas. This is a win-win situation for Israel and the United States. And a lot of the Muslim countries are starting to see the light of this situation and that they're incapable of opposing any um, plan of Israel or the United States. The Israel's attack on Qatar was a sign that Israel not only has impunity within its borders or in Gaza or in the West Bank, but has impunity in the whole Muslim world. And all of them are more interested in maintaining their economic ties with the United States and business as usual than supporting the Palestinian people. So I don't see any positive conclusion that can come from this agreement unless there would be a European power that would step in to support the Palestinian people. But the European countries are also highly dependent on the United States. And so to be cut off from the United States or to think that they could be bombed or attacked by the United States is unthinkable for them. So I can't see any possible solution here. And Iran is too far away, and the actors in the region who were cooperating with Iran to try to support the Palestinian people have all been whittled away or um, demilitarized or are reconstituting. So I can't see really any um, future for the Palestinian people in Gaza, but they're certainly free to try to fight it out to the last man. And eventually, when Hamas is gone, then the people will, I'm sure, accept any agreement and they will leave Gaza. So that's what things are looking at like to me. And that's my report for today. If you have a comment to make, please do so below. If you like this video, please like and share. If you subscribe, you support independent journalism, and I appreciate your support. So thanks again for joining me, and please come back for another video. See you soon. Bye bye.